Hello, welcome. My name is Ami. They call me Ami Love. So it's the first time I'm doing these horoscopes. My New Year resolution was since 2016. Resolution is to start doing the horoscopes, as I've been doing horoscopes since April in Spanish. So I'm gonna start. I said I was gonna start doing it in English because there's a lot of friends that are asking me to. So this is it. I'm here. I'm starting. Yay, Cancers! Happy New Year! Okay, so this video applies to the people that has a sun in Cancer, the moon in Cancer, or the ascendant in Cancer. You should watch the videos where you have your moon and your ascendant, so you have a broader perspective about the energies that are influencing, affecting you this month. This month, the sun has been in Capricorn since December 21st, okay, and it's going to be in Capricorn until January 21st, which is your house, the house that rules your relationships. Okay, so your focus is during this period, this time is going to be on your relationships. We have Mercury retrograde in this house as well, so you'll be trying to transform all your relationships. You are trying to transform and also to detect, to try to, you're trying to figure out where you're lacking, maybe where there is some kind of behavior that it's not supporting your relationships, some kind of behaviors that you might have to, transform and assess in order you can have more security through your relationships, or get that person to commit, have, bring into your life a committed relationship, because you'll be thinking about partnerships also at this time. With Mercury retrograde in this area, there's a possibility that you probably contact, with you get a contact or a mail, a text, with Annette's lover, maybe Annette's, you heard about Annette's love, and that made you think, during the holidays, that made you go to the past and think about this relationship and where it worked. You can look at some areas where you could now change the way you interact in within your relationships, and when we go into the areas of partnership also, I know there's some people from the past that are coming back into your life, where possibly it's hard for you right now to reconnect with these people, because possibly you have grown in intellectually, in this person as well. So there's possibly some relationships, some partnerships, associates that are no longer in the same page as you. So they're coming back, so you know already where this person is, and maybe bringing more understanding to the relationship, to why things didn't work maybe in the past. Maybe you're gaining perspective about these relationships. That's why it's coming back into your life, so and understand the the life path of this person, or the psychology of this person, and you understand why. You can see clear now why it couldn't work in the past, because maybe this person is in another page and you are somewhere else, or you want to direct your life in a different, your philosophies, probably your belief system is different with the one of this person. Maybe you want to um, try to bridge, you're trying, but it's going to be a little bit complicated if this person's philosophies or ways of behaving, belief system is totally different. you know it's totally different than yours. It will be a little bit hard during this time, during this period that Mercury is retrograde, that is going to be influencing us through the whole month of January. It's going to be hard to cope and to be in the same page, to make business and negotiate with this person. So you'll probably notice, okay? So maybe you should try it later on, but during this time, it's a period to reevaluate this kind of relationships and associations, okay? So if, like I said, if a person from the past comes, you're gonna notice that you guys you're in different pages, different dimensions. And then if an old flame comes back, also you're gonna notice, some, it could play out in different ways. It could be you will have the opportunity to be with this person, so you spend some time with this person, or possibly in within the next weeks you're gonna have an opportunity to reunite with the nets with no old flames, so you see where you guys at. Okay, if you still think there could be a possibility that things can work out with this person, you're gonna have the opportunity to really discover the truth. You're gonna have an opportunity to spend time with this person and be intimate, spend some intimate time with this person, so you understand, you know the truth, you see the truth, you understand where this person is at. Okay, so you're gonna have that opportunity. If Annette comes back, you probably reunite with him and see that things are no longer as passionate as they were, or you don't feel your feelings towards this person have changed. So you're gonna have this opportunity. If you're not living it now, you're not experiencing this right now at this moment, you're gonna have the opportunity within the next weeks to reunite with this person and see, if it clicks or if it doesn't. Okay, so just take it easy. And also, new people that you meet at this time, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be more temporary, or because with Mercury retrograde, I don't see that the people that comes into your life right at this moment, it will be a long term. It will be a little bit complicated because Mercury is in retrograde, and I won't trust the persons that comes into your life. This person could have a hidden past or tendency with Pluto in Capricorn. This person might have a dark side, okay, that you might have to discover, or discover later on. This person might have some kinds of darkness to it, or habits, some hidden psychology, dark psychology. And with Mercury retrograde, you might discover. And I don't want you to put yourself into for a delusion, or don't create any expectations about this new person that you might meet. Okay, that you might have met within the last weeks, or meet within the next weeks. It's good that you don't take things seriously with this person. Just get to know this person until his truth. Take time to know this person, communicate with this person, and give the person time, ask questions, give the person time. Maybe you will have to spend some time with this person, and you'll see things, maybe you'll see patterns that you might not like, okay, in this person, in your partner. Okay, also with Pluto in your relationship area, there's some, you have to, the way you view relationships, and the way you view maybe the way you proceed or view relationships, it will have, your psychology about relationships might have to change a little bit. It might have to undergo adjustments, psychological adjustments. Okay, so possibly you idealize a person in the past. You used to idealize a person, and that's a fantasy. That's not real, because everybody has its flaws, and everybody has its darkness. So you might have to change the way you see relationships. Also, it's a time with Mercury retrograde in this relationship house. It's time to reevaluate and tackle any projects that you have in with your clients. You're trying to come with a new strategy, a new you're working on a project you might publish later on. You're working on that project, so it's time to be very patient if you're working in anything that has to do with electronics, or if you have to do some paperwork, edit, working on your web page, you're opening your business. You'll experience some delays, but it's okay. You'll be you'll be having the opportunity. You will have the opportunity to flow and to continue to move on, but you'll have some, expect some delays, and don't get, be calm if you have to redo it and do it again. It's okay. You have to be just patient and be a little bit, maybe apply a little discipline in terms of health, cancers. And in terms of health, Saturn is in your house of health, routines, and your nutrition. So it's very important with the sun transiting Capricorn. It's very important that you look at any symptoms you feel, any health issues. It will be revealed during this time. If you have a condition that has been hidden for a time, for a period of time, this is the time that you might feel the symptoms in your body will be speaking. Your body will be speaking to you. Also, your psychology, everything that has to do with your psychology. Okay, so it's gonna speak to you, so you can, look for a professional advice. Go and do your checkups. It's very important that you take care of your health, your routines. If you're gonna start doing some workout, might experience delays in starting those New Year's resolutions, because you might get a condition that will restrict you from starting with the right food and with fears. So you have to be patient. Just take some time to recover, and maybe if you're going through a treatment, you have to really proceed and do the whole process and surrender to it, and follow the instructions of the doctor, the professional. It's very important that you follow the instructions at this time and apply, surrender to that treatment that you have to undergo. Okay, it's very important that you do it everything by the book at this moment, because there's some conditions in your health. You're not feeling, probably you're drained a little bit because you've been working because of the holidays. You might have a job that is seasonal, and you've been working and you strain yourself. And that's your if that's your case, you will have to really be patient, and you have to take some time to rest. Okay, you have to really, really nurture yourself and really ingest the right vitamins and the nutrients, and maybe you have to how you say it, like have to analyze what you're eating. They say you are what you eat, so it's very important that your nutrition is very supportive of your immune system, of your health. And especially if you have a condition, you might want to read about what nutrients and foods are healing and supporting. It's very important you use the food, the nutrients, the herbs to heal your body, because we got Jupiter in the sixth house, in the house that rules in the zodiac, the sixth house, the house that rules health. So it's very important. And with the sun in Capricorn, which is earth sign as well as Virgo, so it means that it's very important your routines. If you have to do a change in your way you've been eating, your eating habits, your daily routines, your job, you might have to change your job. Okay, so there's might be some signs about it. You cannot take your job as before, or you may not be in the condition of working so many hours. Okay, so you might have to, right now the sun is revealing that you might have to change your job because it's not healthy anymore. It's harming your health. Okay, so I know it's hard sometimes. You're going through these revelations. There's a condition you might have to change the job, okay? So this is coming ahead, so get ready for a lifestyle change. You might have to change and adapt and bring more discipline to your lifestyle. Maybe the hours that you work, okay? Maybe you will have only to change the hours, the hours, the hours that you work, you know, something in your food, So you have to take care of your health. Health is priority at this time. You have to do your checkups, okay? You have to, if you feel something, you have to do your checkups because something might be, brewing inside, cooking inside of you, and you might not know. Also, for a few of you, could be something in your ovaries and reproductive system. Could be something because Pluto is in Capricorn. Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is in your health house, okay, which is Sagittarius. So something, you might have to do your checkups, your routines, go to the gynecologist, OB-GYN and all that, stuff, okay? Also your stomach, very important, okay? The way you eat, we are what we eat, so it's very important that you do some checkups and maybe some detoxes. Maybe you need to detox your body and start a new diet, okay? It's about your diet. Your diet is very important, and the consumption of water. You need to drink a lot of water so you maintain those veins, arteries, and all that clean. Also, if you can take a spoon of oil, they're telling me this, maybe olive oil in the morning, omega-3, 6, and 9 will be good for you, and collagen as well, okay? So look up this information in the computer and ask questions, and you'll know what to apply, but it's better that you consult a professional, okay? All right, a nutritionist, Ayurvedic medicine is good. It's very good at this time that you tap into Ayurveda medicine. So find out and look for the information. Also, a chiropractor, because Saturn has to do with the bones, because Capricorn rules the bones and everything with the spine and our bones, the arthritis and all that stuff. So it's very good that you see a chiropractor, and see where, go through some therapies if you need to take the time to do these therapies, okay, and follow the rules. So all this type of stuff, and also if you need to forgive the past, anybody from the past, someone that hurt you, something within the family. I know you had some time during the holidays possibly to to talk about the feelings with someone from your family, somebody that maybe you disconnect for a little bit. It's good that you bring healing to these relationships. To any relationship, it's good that you bring healing, because this is going to be, it's harm for yourself. The only one that suffers is you. And this is the, holding grudges. It turns into arthritis, cancer, ulcers, this is, and also problems, in digestion problems, and also all this type of problems, these feelings, holding into these feelings, having a lot of emotional. I know cancers are very emotional, so there's a lot of emotions within you constantly, arising, and these emotions can generate this type of you know this type of conditions in you. It's very important that you know that emotions and the way you think generates conditions within your body, okay? It's very important. Look it up if you're not sure. I'm telling you, it's like that. Everything is created on the mind, and everything is created through our emotions. So you have to be very vigilant about the emotions that you process in your body. You need to heal, you need to let go, you need to transform maybe the way you look at things, the way you connect with people, the way you express your truth, okay? It's very important. It's very important that you give chances and you don't take everything personal. It's very important that you don't take everything personal, okay? All right, so try to focus on your goals, try to focus on changing your paradigm. It's about psychology, the mental paradigm. Try to be strong about things and focus on the things that you can, tangible things, the things that bring security into your life, okay? The things that bring health into your life. Health, your health should be priority. Your emotional health, your psychological health, and your physical health at this time should be priority, okay? Also, bringing harmony into your relationships and understanding how you've been interacting with people, okay? How you've been communicating your truth, how you've been tracing your parameters with the people you come into partnership. Are you speaking your truth? Are you speaking your values and beliefs? Are you letting these people control you and take over you? Are you giving too much in your relationships? Maybe you're giving too much in the relationships and you're expecting from this other people the same, but it's not the same because it doesn't work like that. So maybe you're going to receive from other person but not from the people you expect to receive. So you have to draw some patterns. You have to draw some boundaries and be clear to yourself first about your boundaries. What can you allow? What is healthy for you. You might have to draw some boundaries with certain people, certain your partners, with a partner. You have to draw some boundaries and stick to it, and put a discipline to it. You never allow someone to disrespect you, never allow someone to manipulate you, never allow someone to control you. You cannot allow this anymore because it's affecting your health. So you have to be confident enough and secure enough to speak your truth, to speak your boundaries from the beginning. If you're entering a relationship, you have to speak your boundaries and set it very clear to this other person, so the person know from the beginning where you at and what are your beliefs, what are your priorities, and what are your boundaries. So you can create a relationship with understanding. There's clear communication and where there's mutual respect, okay? It's very important that you create this dynamic where there's mutual respect, where you have your free time to rest and do your things, and the other person understands. So don't get into a relationship where when you see clearly that the person is not understanding where you at, or it's not respecting your values and beliefs, and it's not, and it's like it's like crossing your boundaries. You're in a relationship, the person crosses you know transgression. It's just crossing your boundaries and it's not respecting you. You already know this relationship is not going to be healthy for you. So before you jump into a relationship, before you jump into a commitment with a person because you like the person and it's like this and it's like that and it's perfect, but the person is not giving you the right place and the respect that you deserve, it's not understanding your needs, okay, and your priorities, you already know it's not going to work, okay? So you have to accept that. You have to open up your eyes and understand that this is going to be a toxic relationship, and you might have again go through it again, go through that experience again. It seems like you haven't maybe learned the lesson. You're going to go back to the old patterns that you had. That's why it's not going to work. It haven't worked, it's not going to work, because this time you have to communicate, and you have to assess a relationship from a different perspective. That's what is needed from you, so it can work. It can turn to a long-lasting commitment. to a harmonious, to a mature commitment, okay? You have to learn how to set your boundaries and see the signs and not ignore the red flags, okay? Don't mean red. Do not ignore the red flags. You have to learn how to be strong and see the red flags, okay? So you don't waste your precious time and don't create any more chaos within your soul and within your emotions, okay? So, all right. So be very watch out with giving a opportunity to a person in the past that had some issues, mental issues and patterns and problems or habits, drug habits. Be very careful and don't jump into that relationship, okay? And protect yourself. You have to wear condom, wear protection, okay? If you're gonna intimate with a person, it's very important after the 21st that you use some protection with this person, okay? All right, so there's gonna be on January 9th, there's gonna be a new moon in Capricorn. So, like I said, everything about a relationship is gonna be very important. It's gonna be the focus. You're gonna have an opportunity, to tap in this relationship and maybe negotiate with this person. If the person doesn't open up or doesn't, I don't know how to say. I know how to say. Doesn't seem to cooperate. Okay, so you already know it's a sign. Around January 9th, maybe an opportunity also for a job. Also, something that has to do with your job. You're gonna probably hear about an opportunity, or you're gonna have an opportunity to expose yourself in a different way, project yourself in a different way, but there is an opening in your career and you're trying to achieve and to climb the ladder, okay, of success. So there's gonna be a opportunity, could be a more, could be more clients coming into your life. More clients are gonna come into your life, and you're gonna have an opportunity to project yourself. There's like it's gonna be like a breath of fresh air. It's gonna be new platforms. You're gonna have the opportunity. Okay, you already know there's gonna be some delays with Mercury retrograde. Proceed with caution. Caution. Okay. Then there's gonna be the sun will enter your intimacy sector, your sets sector, and money sector on January 21st. So it means that you're possibly looking for some funds you're trying to assess. If you have a GoFund page, FundMe, or Kickstarter, there is a project you might working on this project during this time, so you can publish this proposal, so you can assess some funds you're trying to bring or get the attention from some VIPs you're trying to get. After the 21st, you're gonna have that opportunity to maybe hear some response about a VIP or promote this GoFund page and publish whatever you need to publish so you can get the funds. It's good time after the 21st to knock those doors and go into getting those inversionists and these people and these agencies, government agencies you need to go, or foundations that might have money for you. So maybe you need to get some more information where you can take your project, or about agencies and people and clients that might be interested on collaborating or promoting or funding your project. Okay, so after the 21st is good, and I will say the first, around the last days of January, first weeks of February is you're gonna receive good news, and you're gonna see things are gonna start flowing. If you're looking for these funds, you're gonna hear about these funds, and you're gonna see it's gonna be a positive nod, okay, in the head. So these people are gonna be interested, okay, because people have been, distracted and spending so much. So for funding, February looks better, okay, to get those funds that you need for your personal projects, okay. And la la la. What else? Yeah, anything that has to do with publicity. If you're like getting going to castings, things like that, maybe following is very important, that you're pursuing and keep on educating yourself. So any courses that you can take to improve the knowledge that you have about electronics, the knowledge that you have, like refining your abilities is very important. Acquiring more abilities that can support your career is very important at this time. So if you thought about doing course, or you want to go back into college, it's very good. Maybe you're late to go back into college, but you can there's another semesters that you can find, a tri-semester or summer. So it's good in February that you start doing all that paper work that you need to do. Also the taxes, it's good in February that you start, with advance, and you take time to do and put all this paperwork in order. So right now you might have to go and look for some kind of papers, documents that you might find, some documents that you needed and they were lost, and at this time until the 21st you might find some documents that you needed, okay, so you can support and back up all these funding and anything that has to do with bonuses and taxes, and maybe stock market. You have to be really careful about investing. If you're looking up to invest, you might receive some good news during the month of February. It might be good for investing in the stock market, maybe, but you might see some bonus coming into your life, or some news about inheritance. After the 21st of January into February, you'll hear some news about some inheritance, possibly that was stuck for the last months. You might hear some news, possibly some change in the paperwork. Maybe you will have to submit some paper, or something change, within the inheritance. You might hear about this news within this weeks, okay, and then you'll hear positive news. You'll see that the process might have to get that money is gonna start, moving in a positive direction, okay. So you're gonna hear about this process and this inheritance, if you're expecting an inheritance. All right, so ta-da-da. I spoke basically about everything. So there's a full moon on the 24th, 25th of January in Leo, your house of your second house. So I already said there's gonna be some news about money, okay? And if you like to try your luck around that full moon, the 24th, 25th, it's good that you play your numbers, play your games, because you might get some money, okay. So play around the day before the full moons and the days following, because I see that after the 21st until the month of February, you can win money, okay. So try your luck, okay. You'll be lucky within that period, okay. You'll be lucky. So try your luck, and it's good that you can possibly invest, but you have to really really look for the right information and the right people that can help you if you're looking up to invest, because you can win, okay. You can win at this time. All right. So try your luck and risk a little bit, okay. Play some money, invest some money, take a risk, because you're gonna win, and it's gonna open doors for you, okay, for a short period, as I said, okay. Go back to the video if you need to look at it and listen again to the aspects and everything I say. You need to learn and watch it as many times as you need, okay? Because this what I'm saying is very important. You're gonna have on the 24th, 25th, on that full moon, you're also gonna have the opportunity to attract someone, some romance, someone interested, someone with who you can connect deeply. There could be some fun in a group with friends where you really connect spiritually and psychologically. And there's also gonna be an opportunity around those days to maybe go on a little trip or gathering with friends, enjoying gathering with friends, and or expose, project yourself. If you're having a creative idea, you're a singer, writer, an actress, there's going to be an opportunity for you to shine around these dates, okay? So you're going to find the funding because you're going to project yourself. You're going to share your ideas. It's very important that you share everything you're doing now, everything you're tackling now. It's very important during this day, the full moon day, probably be finished. That work will be finished, and you're gonna have a lot of recognition and eyes on you. Okay, so enjoy that. Enjoy those opportunities. Risk a little bit. Take your time into thinking and meditating and getting to know people around you. Okay, and have a blessed time, blessed year, blessed month, and I'll see you again in February, okay? Namaste. And much love. We love love. Okay? Mucho, mucho amor. Much love. Beaucoup, beaucoup.